Good morning, beautiful creatives. This week for me has been all about fearless creating. I just am on this jag, if you will, of just doing really like bold and fearless experimentation with my art. And it's like such a release. I'm having so much fun with it, not clinging to results, just really experimenting and what ifing. You know, what if I paint this? What if I try painting with a palette knife? What if I try using catalyst scrapers? It's just been a really full, fun couple of weeks. I think I showed you last week some of what I had been doing. So I was trying to clean off my gouache palette. So this was just like a quick palette clean off page that I pulled out shapes with Posca. And then I did these sky paintings when I was trying to clean up my gouache palette. I actually filmed this for my patrons. I filmed the process. As of today, I don't have it up yet on Patreon, but it's coming soon. That's fun with the gouache with a palette knife. This was a gouache palette knife. You do have to be careful you don't get it too thick or it'll crack on you. But so far, the Cenex gouache has been doing really great. And then in this book, this was another palette knife painting. And then this one down here was palette knife. The other ones were brush. And this one is up. The full demo is up for this one on my Patreon. And these are some more gouache. Just cleaning up my palette, just loose skies, you know, really expressive, not a lot of thought, just putting color on paper. So that's what I've been up to in my small sketchbooks while I was trying to clean up my gouache palette. And then I filled my palette with acrylics, an assortment of acrylics. And I'll show you in a minute what colors I put in there and what brands I used. Just sort of a mishmash of colors. And I did this painting. And it's interesting. You will see the different stages that this painting went through as I just sort of felt my way around it. It started out as an abstract, and then the next day I really wasn't feeling well. There was like 2 days there where I felt like I just really wasn't feeling well. I almost thought I was coming down with something. So I would come up to the studio and work on it a little bit, put a little bit of a layer, and then come back. And then it ended up morphing into this landscape. So that was fun. And you'll see a little bit of that. What else have I been up to? Oh, this Canson sketchbook with sketch paper that I've just had this kicking around forever. I'm not crazy about it. So I took it out and just did some expressive abstracts, you know, just fooling around with different materials. I got out materials that I haven't been using much, kind of forgotten materials. I've been doing that a lot lately and having a lot of fun with materials that I just never really explored before or haven't explored in a long time. So that's what I think I'm going to do with this book. I think I'm just going to continue to fill it up with abstracts or expressive art, really having fun with this exploring expressive, intuitive, abstracted landscapes and just bold abstract art. You guys have told me on Patreon and on Instagram how much you're enjoying the expressive art, and I'm really so grateful that you are, because that's kind of where I am right now, and I'm really having a ball with it. It doesn't mean that next week that might change, because I always tell you I'm an artist that has trouble staying in one singular lane. I tend to bounce around a lot, and to me that's fun. It's fun to sort of switch it up, but I feel like I'm in a stage right now in my art where I just want to explore. I want to be bold. I want to make bold marks, explore with a lot of different mediums, and just create fearless art. Really, it's just fearless, sitting down, what-ifing, wondering, exploring, and it's really restorative and it's so much fun. It's very relaxing. It's wonder-filled. Like when you're a kid and you make these marks or you do something and you're like, wow, that's cool. And there's no disappointment when you put down a mark that doesn't work because you're just putting down so many layers. So as you can tell, I'm psyched about it. I'm really having fun with it, and I hope that you will have fun coming on this journey with me and seeing what I've been up to this week. If you do enjoy the video, I really, really appreciate you guys if you give it a thumbs up and if you would subscribe to my channel. I can still see in my analytics that the bulk of my returning viewers are not subscribed. So if you're a returning viewer and you're enjoying my videos, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. It helps me out. It helps my videos get out to a wider audience. Okay, guys, so I really hope you enjoy the video. Let's get to it. Okay, so I did manage to get my gouache palette emptied out, and I used all of my gouache paints. I've now loaded my palette with an assortment of different brands of acrylic paint. This is way more acrylic paint than I normally lay out in my palette, but since I'm doing abstracts and I don't really know where it's going to go, I decided to test out a whole bunch of different colors, and so I'll tell you what I laid out. Was Hansa Yellow Pale, and that's the Utrecht. De La Rowney System 3 is Cadmium Yellow Hue, Golden Yellow Ochre, Quinacridone Nickel Azul Gold, and Cadmium Orange Pure. This is a real problem I'm having with these Utrecht paint tubes, is that the tops are breaking off. I have that one. And this one, the top is broken. I have 3 of them where the tops have broken off, and this is a pain. I don't know. I believe I actually did contact the company at one point and ask if I could get replacement caps, and they said no, they don't manufacture caps separately. So if you guys have a better idea of how to store paint where the cap has broken off, I would love to hear it, because this is a nuisance. Anyways, this is Cadmium Red Light, Quinacridone Red, Alizarin Crimson, Venetian Red, Burnt Sienna, Raw Sienna, Burnt Umber. That's interesting. I didn't mean to put out Burnt Sienna because I had put out Yellow Ochre. That's kind of redundant, but Ultramarine Blue, Chromium Oxide Green, and Green Gold, and then a little bit of white and a little bit of black. So that's a lot of colors. We'll see. I've got my Fabriano sketchbook taped off, and I'm just gonna put down some layers, and I'll probably start with some graphite mark making, and then just go at it with some paint. Totally abstract, intuitive, not really planning anything yet. May come out as a landscape, may come out as purely abstract, I don't know. But at this point, I don't really care. So we'll see what happens. So to start with on this one, I took the Lyra graphite pencil, the big, thick, chunky one, and I just tried to make a variety of marks. You know, a lot of times I just do all loopy marks, and I tried to get a variety of different marks in there, and just, yeah, see, I don't know if it'll show through or not, but just as a initial layer to break the surface. So I spent the afternoon getting some videos, demos uploaded for my patrons. And in between, when I had moments, I was coming over here and adding more layers to this. And all of a sudden, I got overcome with not feeling well. So I think I'm going to leave it there. But I think it might be fun for me to just take little clips of videos throughout the process to show you guys, you know, the different stages that it lands at. I know I said before I'm not doing art haul videos anymore, but there are some art supplies that I've purchased over the last few months since I stopped doing art supply hauls that I should share with you guys at some point, because I'm like loving this brush. This is, what's it called? It's the Liquitex Freestyle. And as you can see, it has a really long handle on it, and I'm absolutely loving this brush. So the layers that I've done on this so far are some Lyra water-soluble and non-water-soluble graphites. And then I sealed some of those with clear gesso. I used some of my catalyst wedges. I put pieces of paper up and then scraped it with a metal scraper in areas, where you put a paper over and then sort of scratch off, and just some layers of paint and moving things around for this first layer of the painting. So I think I'm going to go rest for a while, but I'll come back to this tomorrow and it'll be fun to see where it ends up. So it's about 1:15 in the afternoon, and I'm just showing up in the studio, and I really don't have any energy, so I'm not sure if I feel like doing more on this today, or if I just want to get out like a dry medium like pastel and just do some sort of scribbly exploration on some paper on my spiral pad. Yeah, I mean, I actually do feel like working on this. I'm just not feeling well today, and so tired. But I do like this as a beginning. So I have to make a decision about that. I suppose I could get out some dry media like some pastels and just do some scribbling on paper and see if that gets my energy up enough to actually get going on this again, or should I wait till tomorrow? I don't know. Let me see what happens and I'll check in with you later. So I'm just totally not feeling it today. This is where it ended up, and right now I feel like this is all gonna go away. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like not feeling it for this at all. So I think I'm gonna just paint over it or completely change it. I don't know, but I'm tired, so I'm quitting for today. Anyways, that's where it is now, and we'll see what happens with it. Don just came home, so I am going to go downstairs and say hi to him. Stay tuned to see what happens with this beast. I hated it so much where it was. I ended up doing another layer over it, and I'm much happier where it is now. The studio is really dark. It's late and it's stormy out, so it might be hard to see some of the marks that are on here. I'm much more happy with it. At this point, whether it's done or not, I don't know. But I'm going to leave it for now and come back tomorrow morning and see what I think. I don't know if I want to put some more marks on it. I feel like this Lyra, this is the non-water soluble. I feel like it's not showing up enough here in the foreground. I do like how it is for branches on the trees. I'm tired now, so I don't want to, I don't want to do anything I might regret. So I'm going to leave it here. I have to say these catalyst wedges were a gift from Michael, and I absolutely love them. These things are awesome. I'm having so much fun. I haven't used these in a while, and I'm having so much fun using them on this painting. He has a really gorgeous blog and Instagram account, and I'll put a link below to that so that you can follow him there. But anyways, thank you, Michael. I absolutely love these wedges. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, go down and see how hubby's doing. He's not feeling so great. I got to clean some brushes, and I think I'll just leave everything else the way it is. I'm dying to pull this tape off, but I think I want to wait till tomorrow to see if I decide to do anything else, because I do feel like I might make some more marks in those corners. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, so I'm back in the studio this morning, And I'm gonna take a look at this painting. Let me turn my light on and see if I think I'm done. I did another palette cleanup painting with just a little bit of leftover reds I had. So I'll do something with that at some point. Yeah, it took a bit getting used to painting with acrylics. It's been a long time, and boy, I really prefer gouache, but I want to move into some bigger works, and it's just more economical to use acrylics. I mean, there are some things I like about acrylics. I like how you can get these transparent layers. I like how you can just keep layering and layering without worrying about it cracking. Yeah, there is a lot to like about it. What I think I'm going to do is next time I paint with that, I'm going to add in some of Golden's super matte medium and see what that does. I added airbrush medium this time, but I think I'm going to try the super matte medium and see how much of the shine it actually takes away. It doesn't make it flat. I've fooled around with it before, but it might take a little bit of the shine away. So yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is pull the tape. I think I am done with this. And I want to get out my, what did I do with it? Oh, this. I want to take this. I'm super tired today, and it's really, the humidity is so high. I don't know if you can see out the windows. It's rainy and foggy, and I have so much trouble breathing on days when the humidity is really high. So I don't know how much I'll talk in this video, because I'm sure you don't want to hear a winded old lady talking. But I'm going to get this out, and I'm thinking about getting out some limited supplies, like maybe Stabilo and gesso, charcoal. I don't know, but I want to do a few experiments on these pages, and these may actually end up being collage pages. I may end up ripping them up and using them for collage. So, but just with limited items on each page, limited materials. We'll see if I stick with that. Who knows? But for now, I am going to bring that over to my desk and do a tape peel and see how I feel about it. I was just about to pull the tape off, and I remembered that I want to put my Dorland's wax on this time before. This is the Dorland's cold wax medium, and I want to put it on before I pull my tape this time. The only thing is I do have some water-soluble graphite on here. I have both water soluble and non-water soluble, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll find out in a minute. This will just help keep my page from sticking together. It's not bulletproof, but it does help. But you really have to be careful if you have water-soluble marks on your page, because you can end up really polluting your lighter colors, or even worse, smudging the whole thing. And this does have a little tiny bit of solvent in it, so probably not the best idea for me to be doing it on a day when I'm having a little bit of difficulty breathing already. Normally, I would wait until I could have the windows open, or even do it outside. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm hypersensitive, you know, because of my mast cell disorder and autoimmune stuff. I'm super sensitive to art materials, so other people may not have a problem with it, but all right. You can see that it lifted some of that graphite, which is fine. I have a special can that I throw these rags that have a little bit of solvent in them. And I'm just going to buff it with a dry paper towel. I really love Dorland's wax, cold wax. I like the finish it gives, and I like how it helps to keep my pages from sticking together. So that is with the wax. And I'm going to peel. Okay, there it is. And like I said, the light is so awful in here today. The overcast days make the light very blue in my studio. So this is probably warmer than it's looking. There is a lot of mark making and texture. And there's a lot of layers, which again is really the fun thing with acrylic, that you can get away with doing so many layers. I don't know if the lighting is any better here on my easel. I have a feeling it might be, that you can see the marks and the texture's better without my camera casting a shadow like it does from overhead, but there's those yummy marks. These are ridges from those catalyst wedges that Michael gave me. These things are so awesome for putting on texture. Yeah, I like the layers a lot. So when I encounter the things that I am not that crazy about in acrylics, I want to remind myself that there is a lot that I like about acrylics. So I'm pretty happy with it, actually. You know, it's amazing what happens when the tape comes off. So, okay, moving on. So I have out a bunch of stuff. I actually might have so much stuff out that I trip myself up from keeping it simple, but I'm not too worried about that. If they just end up really chaotic, because I may just use them as collage papers, then all the better, you know. But I'm just going to really go with intuitively whatever I feel like doing and exploring mark making. It's really more about the exploring what kind of marks I like and color combinations. So I've got some Neocolor 2s here. I've got some water-soluble colored pencils, some watercolor pencils, a Stabilo, some scrapers. These are different charcoal and sanguine pencils, and Conte. This is all water-soluble graphite, Stabilo, different colors of Stabilo. There's some ink tints in there. Oh yeah, there's some graph tint in there. Just a very limited selection of paints. I've got some quinacridone gold. I really wish I had gotten a jar of this before it went out of stock, because I'm just about out. And I went to try to order some in a larger bottle, and it was gone, and they're not making it anymore. So I'm very sad that I didn't. I do have some of that in the heavy body, and I did try to order some of it in the open, the golden open. So we'll see. Payne's Gray, quinacridone burnt orange, raw umber, and teal. So those are the only paint colors I'm going to get out. I've got a bunch of tools, scrapers, rollers. I have some distress inks that I absolutely never use. I don't even know if these are good anymore. I've just been having a lot of fun exploring art supplies in my studio that I don't use, so I thought I would grab those. And acrylic inks, which up until recently, I just have not been using those. But when I got them out and started to use them the other day, I was actually having a lot of fun with them. So that's a lot of stuff to choose with. I actually do have both of my trolleys here. So there's also Posca and Liquitex markers, other kinds of paint flash and so flat, but I don't think I'm going to get more paint. I do have my luminance colored pencils there. Yeah, there's things to choose from. So I'm just going to put on some music, I think, and just play and see what comes up. And I'll show you guys at the end. I don't think I'm going to film any of this, but we'll see. I always say that, and then I end up filming some for Patreon. But yeah, so I will show you what I did when I'm done. So here is the first abstract mark making experimental page. And here is the second. These are so much fun to do. Guys, I hope you will give it a try because it's such a release. It's such a wonderful release and way to experiment. It's just so much fun, really. Sorry for the wobbly camera. I'm tripping over my feet. But yeah, it's really fun. So give it a try. I'm definitely going to be doing more. I've decided that pretty much, I think that's what I'm going to fill this old sketchbook up, because this paper is just so crappy. But it gives me a way to not worry about experimenting and wasting materials. So if you guys are interested in seeing the full progress demo on these two abstracts, they will be up on my Patreon next week. I'm a little behind on my editing as I speak now, so I'm hoping to catch up. But these will be up on, the full process demo video will be up on Patreon. Hopefully next week. I think it'll be next week. Okay, guys, I hope that you have been enjoying these fearless art videos and that you will consider creating some fearless art for yourself, because it's been a lot of fun. So you guys that have been watching for a while know the drill. The secret word for this week is fearless. So if you're still watching at this point in the video, type fearless in the comments and I will know that you are one of my loyal VIP viewers. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful week and get out some materials you haven't used for a while and make some fearless art. I will talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.